Ugh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, guys. Whoa, that's very bright. Welcome, guys. Nika here. Daily Neuro Nugget. Happy Tuesday. I can't believe it is Tuesday already. Let's get right into it. Not a lot of time, but a lot of Freudian slips, in my opinion, by the Dylan Mortensen. Do you know what a Freudian slip is? Welcome, family. Welcome to the chat. Reminder for everybody in the chat to remain respectful to each other. We don't have to agree, but remain respectful, right? I want to talk about Dylan Mortensen because, again, the surviving roommates, in my opinion, are people that should have been looked at. That's very bright. Oh my gosh. Hold on. They should have been looked at, and they were not looked at. Ever. They were never looked at as potential suspects, and that's very concerning, right? When you have a quadruple homicide, when things like this don't happen in Moscow. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the chat, everybody. Hey, open your peepers. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Bryce. Hey, Suds. Hey, Emma. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Sherry. Hey, Shane. Hey, Nick. Hey, Rise. Did I miss anyone? When things like this don't happen in Moscow. And then we have this interview with Dylan Mortensen yapping away. In my opinion, what is coming out of her mouth are a bunch of Freudian slips. And a Freudian slip is like a small mistake in speech, in writing, or an action that can reveal an unconscious thought, feeling, or desire, right? It can also be called parapraxis, and that happens when basically the unconscious mind kind of surfaces inadvertently, right? Like whatever we're actually thinking about and we don't want to come to the surface, it comes up regardless. Okay. So, for example, friendly example, a person who meant to say, I want a dog might say, I want a baby, potentially revealing like a hidden thought about starting a family or something like that, right? Um, and these slips give us a glimpse into the unconscious mind where you have these suppressed thoughts, suppressed desires, suppressed feelings. So, Dylan Mortensen, this audio, you guys have maybe heard it. I'm not going to share it here. I never share anything on here because then it gets removed. So please, you can find these things on TikTok. You can find this audio on other YouTubers may have shared it. Thank you so much for the $5 Too Fast for Please Caffeine Cash. Much needed today. It's been a long week already, right? Dylan Mortensen is saying that this is somebody that they know that committed the IDAHO4. When you hear this audio, let me know, please, in the comment section if you felt a chill up and down your spine, because I most definitely did, right? And she's Idaho 4 case was a local, was a person that they knew, which is what we've been saying from the beginning, right? Dylan is saying that this is somebody that knew the victims. We have always said that. And again, statistically speaking, these types of crimes are not committed by a random stranger, no matter what Nancy Disgrace wants you to believe. Statistically speaking, these types of crimes are not committed by a random individual. Okay? This is the type of crime committed by somebody who knew them well, and knew the layout of the house. And well, we know Mr. Brian Koberger did not know the layout of the house and did not know the victims and had no connections to the victims. In fact, Bill Thompson, the state prosecutor, had to come forward and correct his own ass. He had to come forward and say, I made a mistake. Turns out that Mr. Koberger, there's no evidence of him stalking the victims, which is true. And what an embarrassment for the state, right? So the person questioning Dylan's like, do you think it was somebody you knew? And they just bypassed your room because they weren't intent on harming you? And Dylan says, I mean, that's what doesn't make sense. It's like they'd have to have known our layout to want to go past my room, to not go, to go to occupy my room. She said, that's the thing. It's like, from what I remember, I don't think I even locked the door that night. I don't think I did. And that's what weirds me out. Like, if I didn't, how did he go past my room, not even care that I was in my room? Like, he probably knew all of us were home at last that night. And I had to rewind this like a freaking dozen times to make sure that I'm hearing right. She said he probably knew all of us were home at last that night. At last that night. At last? What was that, Dylan? Home at last? Home at last? That's interesting. We caught that, but what did she mean by that? Is that a Freudian slip of Dylan Mortensen? Because Freudian slips, again, they happen without us even being aware. I find this statement personally very odd. And of course, everything is speculation because it's all a web of lies, right? It's all a web of lies. Home at last. What did she mean by that? Dylan continues on to say, I feel like it's someone that we know. I just feel like it's someone that we know. And I feel like it's someone that's probably been in our house the last year when girls used to live there. Did Moscow PD ever look into this? Did Idaho State Police ever look into this? Did they ever anyone from last year when Dylan is saying that she thinks it's somebody from then that knew the house? No, they didn't. She says, or this year somehow. I don't know. I feel like it is someone that we know. And she is right. In my opinion, she is so right. She's so much closer to MPD or ISP to solving the crime than even the cops themselves. Because again, statistically speaking, this is somebody that knew the layout of the house, especially if they're trying to make us believe that this crime happened in such a quick way with no basically no evidence left behind. I agree with Dylan. I think that it's somebody that probably knew the house. She says, I feel like it's someone that's probably been in our house the last year when girls used to live there, or this year. It's weird to me that I'm being mean talking about it, like, and then they redact the name in the audio, right? But she's talking about BF. She's talking about Bethany Funk. So her and Bethany Funk have been talking about it, and they both agreed that it was someone that they knew. That, my friends, my family here, is very chilling. He had to have known the layout of the house, or they had to have known the layout of the house. Even Dylan says he had to have known the layout of the house. He never went to the room. What if Kaylee was living down there? He wouldn't have known unless he knew us and he knew the house. Again, she's using 1 + 1 = 2, right? He wouldn't have known unless he knew us and knew the house. That doesn't make sense. And the interviewer says, well, in our world, to pass an occupied rooms becomes concerning if the direction comes from the door he enters. Has to make him walk by it. And she says, like, my door is almost right in front of the view. When you walk in that sliding door, that's the first room you see. He didn't go to my room. That's why we wondered if you know him, says the interviewer. And the one that's interviewing Dylan in this audio is ISP Vicky Gooch. and early on in the investigation, right, that they had all agreed basically that it was someone they knew that had been in the house, that knew the layout of the house. Again, this is coming from the surviving roommates. Dylan says it's almost as if this person knew who lived in what room, like where everyone was. There's no one, like every person that like knew Kaylee, Xana, Ethan, Maddie, loved them. That is very interesting to hear that coming out of Dylan's mouth. Also, in this interview where she's talking to Vicky Gooch, why does she sound so excited? I've mentioned this before in other interviews as well. Why does Dylan Morrison sound like she's so excited? Why does she sound like she's super happy and like she's shouting? It's almost like she knows who did this, and it's weird to see someone's eyes and then say you don't know who it is. To this day, I still have to question Dylan Morrison. We have to question her because supposedly she was so afraid, but then she didn't call anybody. She stayed on her phone, didn't even bother to call her boyfriend. And people say, well, he was in Boise. But was he? But was he actually in Boise? Also, how did Kaylee's blood end up on the table where Hunter put the knife down? Because we're revising all of these DNA documents, guys. All 2,300 pages. I'm trying to get through all of the pages for you. I'm not even close, but I'm trying my very best. Okay, it's very time consuming. Please be nice to me. Since we're on the topic of being nice, I had a crazy fucking ass bitch ass stalker on Instagram who blew up my IG and said that, why haven't I replied to her? I'm sorry. Like, there's like 3,000 people that I also talk to. Then I also work a 12 to 14-hour job. Then I still have a family to feed. Then I still do YouTube. So if you guys are reaching out to me on Instagram and I haven't replied to you in 2 months, don't blow up my IG. Don't threaten me. I will find you and I will report you. Okay? Stop being a weirdo. It's so odd to me that people think that they are entitled to my access 24/7 because we talk about the case. I wish I had more time. Uh, I wish I had all the money in the world so I didn't have to work, so that I could talk about this case and answer every single one of your guys' questions. I'm trying my very best, okay? But chill, bro. Literally chill, bro. And by the way, I almost shared her name with you guys on here because I think it's important to be cautious of these people. They're a little bit maybe into some psychosis. I think a lot of them are a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. That's all I'm gonna say. But I'm not gonna share her name. I just blocked her and reported her for the stalking comments. But just be wary, be careful because there are so many people, at least half a dozen people that have reached out to me in the same manner in the last couple weeks, and they're angry that I'm not purchasing, that I'm not cash apping them money because they want for me to pay for images of supposedly that they have access to the crime. Don't fall for that, by the way. It's a scam, okay? It's a scam. So stay safe, people. There's a lot of weirdos out there. Personally, I want to know how Kaylee's blood ended up on the table where Hunter put the knife down. Because remember, we were told the crimes are contained to the bedrooms when actually all the evidence says otherwise, right? And even if the unaliver took out Xana and Ethan, it still doesn't explain Kaylee's red fluid on the table, right? Where Hunter put the knife down, because we were told that this was a clean knife that was grabbed from the kitchen. So how did the blood end up there? It's getting very concerning because we have wondered about Hunter. Where did he actually grab the knife from? Did he touch the knife just to try to cover his tracks and place his DNA, place his prints at the house right when the cops are arriving, though. Magically placing his prints there, saying, I grabbed this knife from the kitchen because I was trying to help. I was trying to be a hero. But actually, if Kaylee's blood ended up on the table where Hunter put the knife down, did it come from the knife? And if so, then I have way more questions for Hunter. Was the knife dirty? Was the knife already bloody? Where did you actually grab the knife from? When did you grab the knife? What time was it? How long were you actually and truly at 1122 King Road? Why are you looking so gaunt? Why are you appearing that something is eating you from the inside out, sir? I've always believed that the people that committed this crime was definitely people that they knew. Um, and we know that they all changed rooms over the summer, right? So when Dylan is doing this interview with Officer Gooch, what a weird last name, by the way, Gooch, she keeps saying to get to Kaylee. Why is Dylan saying that the assailant or assailants were trying to get to Kaylee? What does she know that we don't know? Why is she jumping to the conclusion that it was to get to Kaylee? What does she know? Isn't that a little bit strange? That she says that everybody else loved, Xana and Ethan, Maddie, but she keeps saying that the assailant was trying to get to Kaylee. Again, what is she trying to make us believe? Is she trying to push a specific narrative, or does she actually know something that we don't? Because we have also heard Dylan Morrison mention in the past that she thought it was Jack Decor the whole time, right? She's mentioned that, right? Is she eventually going to tell us who it was? I want to know, Dylan, um, and Bethany, and also the people that were renting out 1122 King Road. Were there any renovations done? Any contractors? Any painters? Who is responsible for renting it out? I want to know about exes. I want to know about rug dealers, right? And by the way, how did the blood test positive on the first floor if she claimed that nobody was ever on the first floor? Right? But of course, all of us here, our little YouTube family here, we're getting close to 13,000 people. That's really cool. So thank you guys. This couldn't exist without your support, right? We've been all saying this since day one, that the assailant or assailants were people that knew the victims and most definitely had to know the layout of the house. But please, if you can, go listen to this interview. Again, this is the interview that was done with Officer Gooch and Dylan Morrison. This is a bombshell of an audio. Go listen to it. I personally find it is very very chilling. And also, when she's saying at last, I don't like that, right? I don't like that. Is it possible that here we have roommates that may be accomplices? We also know that it wasn't a he. We know that it was not a he, it was them, as in many perps, right? I mean, Maddie had 3 DNA samples under her nails. Wake up, people. Maddie had 3 DNA samples under her nails. This is a case with too many suspicious characters outside the home. We had Dumpster Dude, we had the driver, we had Jack Showalter acting sus. We have Eric Gower, the private driver. Don't get me started on Eric Gower. Shady cops. The whole thing is filled with suspicious characters. The whole crime scene is full of multiple sources of DNA, 3 under Maddie's nails. That's not even counting other DNA that was found throughout the crime scene. Um, Also, all seen Brian's mugshot for 3 years now, right? We've seen his mugshot. When I see his eyes, he has very intense eyes, right? They're very intense. He has deep set eyes, bright eyes, and they're intense. Um, we're supposed to believe that she looked into the eyes of Brian Koberger and that didn't spark any recognition from her, but their eyes met. They made eye contact. I would think if you looked into a serial killer's eyes, even for half a second, you would never forget them. They would stay with you, right? Especially if this person is supposedly covered from here down, you're going to remember their eyes. We know that the lights were turned on. In the beginning, I gave Dylan Mortensen, a lot of us here gave Dylan Mortensen the benefit of the doubt because we thought she was asleep. We thought it was dark in the house. We know they were awake now after everything was released. We know that all the lights were on in the entire house. Every single light was turned on. Thank you so much, Connie, for the $5. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you for your service. The net has given crazies an evil platform. Fuck the haters. They just want free rent in your head. Exactly. So we just block and delete and move on, right? So thank you so much. It is Veterans Day. Maybe I'll go get a free meal and if you're a veteran, by the way, let me know in the chat. I'm very curious to know how many of you guys are veterans. I always love getting a free meal and talking to older veterans. They always have some crazy stories, right? So please support your veterans if you can, even if it's just a conversation with them. Sometimes we're just lonely veterans out here, right? So thank you so much for the $5. I really appreciate that. We know that there was enough light outside of her door with all the string lights on that were so close to her bedroom. We also know that all the lights were on throughout the entire house. So yeah, this case still doesn't make sense to me. But listening to Dylan talk so nonchalantly about everything is weird. She sounds defensive. To me, she sounds defensive. And we know now, at least in my opinion, that it's 100% that more than one person was involved in this crime, right? Also, I'm not bragging. I'm just reminding everybody I do have a degree, a master's degree in psychology. I did take a few courses in criminal psychology. And if this helps whatsoever, maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But I remember learning that if somebody talks too much about them or about things they don't like, they would unalive the person publicly and not care. Okay? Okay? She said, "What if Kay was downstairs or something?" Well, why did she say Kaylee first? Go ahead, Dylan. You can tell us what we already assume and possibly have facts to back it up, right? Tell us, Dylan. You also, please, if you listen to this audio, pay very close attention. It's very easy to miss, but she goes from saying they to then him. How do you go from saying they, as in assuming that there's multiple perpetrators, and then saying him? Did you guys catch that? The second Freudian slip here. That is very concerning. She keeps mentioning without realizing that they were out to get Kaylee. Or maybe she is realizing, again, we can't believe everything because she may be mentioning Kaylee to try to distract us from something else, or maybe some other of the victims, for example, Xana and Ethan, right? Or Maddie. But the fact that she said they first, referring to potentially multiple assailants, and then magically switches to him is weird, weird, weird. And we should most definitely be asking those questions that a lot of people still don't want to talk about. So thank you guys for joining me in today's live. Before I go, let's see who else is in here. Any of you guys in here? I think my chat froze. Oh, there it is. Tony Stevenson. Hey, Tony. Law enforcement said Dylan had the preferable timeline. I bet it was Blaker's timeline he made up. Hey, Whitney. Hey, Suds. Hey, Suds. Happy Veterans Day. Hey, Hoppers. Happy Veterans Day. Ooh, coffee. You're so sweet. Me too. I'd be happy with just coffee and my little YouTube family here, right? 13,000 strong, almost. Thank you guys for joining us in today's live. Brag, girl, brag. You deserve to. You busted your ass, girl. I'm most definitely one that says that if it's something that you have to work hard for, You should brag about that, right? That's not narcissistic. Um, but a lot of people who don't understand psychology, they're like, "You're a narcissist for talking about having a master's degree." That's just jealousy. That's just jealousy. Yes, most definitely. If you guys have accomplished something that you're proud of and you busted your behind for it, yes, brag. Dylan sounds defensive and well rehearsed. I agree, Steven. Thank you so much, Whitney, for the kind comments. Thank you, Slam, for the kind comments. Photograph photography by Crystal. Doors open for 8 hours in the snow. Thin walls. And they were awake and taking pictures also, right? Hey, Ronald. Happy Veterans Day. Another vet. A lot of veterans in here. Dang. Thank you, Blake. You're so sweet. Thank you so much, Blake. So you get a free meal? I mean, some places give free meals. Usually it's nothing major that I know of, right? Living dead girl says his sister's eyes looks just like his. Exactly. What are they gonna say, that she's a serial unaliver too? They're literally just deep set eyes, bro. But again, it's human nature to be judgmental as fuck. And when they put in their mind that this person is a criminal or whatever, they will look at any physical traits and try to skew them to make it fit their narrative. So they'll take his dark hair, his pale skin, whatever, and try to make associations. And people don't do this consciously, by the way, right? They do this subconsciously, which is why it's so dangerous, because they're not aware that they're literally sentencing potentially an innocent man to life in prison. That's why it's dangerous, right? Photography by Crystal. Is this a psyop? Psyop? Maybe. Because people listen with their eyes. The man who sold the world, welcome. They wouldn't call JD if they felt their life was threatened. Rosanna's. Is there something JD could have done to prevent that? They didn't call anybody. Ooh, Isabel says Dylan psychologically disturbed. Well, a lot of people have mentioned that she gives off sociopathic, psychopathic, Jodi Arias vibes. After listening to this interview, I probably would agree. She just sounds way too chill, way too relaxed, very rehearsed, no emotion behind her words. Hello, Isabel. Good evening. Felt like I arrived into his eyes. Hope you're okay. Hey, we're perfectly fine here, girl. Just passionate is all. Neurodivergent folks were very passionate. Slam, the man who sold the world, just felt a bit backhanded to me. What happened? What happened? Is Ashlyn connected to Emily and Hunter? Way too many crazy peeps out there, Whitney, right? Yeah. Open your peepers. After she interviewed DM, I was hoping they would release the one with BF2. For real, where is it? Where is it? Mustang. Dylan seemed almost giddy. Honestly, I had such a headache from that interview. Hot pie gravy. Don't cross naked. Playing with fire. Hoppers, you're hilarious. Oh my god. Nika has a particular set of skills. She will find you. She will find you. Steven says being blood was found in Dylan's room. Did Kaylee make her walk into Dylan's room when she ran down the stairs and the beating Kaylee received start in Dylan's room? Possibly, right? She's nuts. She's on medication and Adderall and Borgs. Who? Dylan? No. Yeah, Whitney, you're right. Dylan sounds normal, right? She doesn't sound sad or emotional. Yes, I'm with you. Yes, the living arrangement's still confusing as heck. Rise. Oh, but you know nothing, heard nothing, and was asleep. Except she wasn't. Because now we have the records to prove she wasn't, right? Yes, the man who sold the world. Yes, please. I'm not sure if you have watched my videos regarding Ashton Couch paying for a room for almost a year, right? That she didn't live in. That's weird, right? Thank you so much, Holly Berry, for the kind Happy Veterans Day comment. Hey, Amanda. Even Christy said in early interviews she knew in her gut it was someone they knew. Just a mother's intuition. And you know what? Your gut is usually right. I'm telling you right now, your gut is usually right. This is not about woo-woo intuition, although I believe in intuition. But if you understand the science behind intuition, you understand that we have neurotransmitters in our guts. We actually have neurotransmitters in our gut. So usually your gut can be very accurate, right? But funny how even the mother thought that in her gut, her intuition or her neurotransmitters were telling her that it was probably somebody close to the victims. And then after, when things get hard, when you just want a quick answer, when you just want to put your pain to rest or whatever else, you magically switch sides and you're like, guess it was Brian. What happened to the gut feeling? Always listen to your gut, by the way. It's never failed me. Not yet. Tony says Ashton Couch is tied with Demetrius and Enema Bailey. They aren't good people. They are not good people. She's creepy to me. She creeps me out. And wasn't she monetizing something off of the passing of her friends also? I remember her doing that interview, Ashton Couch, and she just has a stupid smirk on her face the entire time. It was so weird. Thank you so much, Asman, for the kind comment. Thank you to every soul who sacrificed their lives for ours. God bless our veterans. So I agree, which is why it's so important we talk about this case, because we can't just throw away our rights, allow the government, allow law enforcement to just arrest people without proper evidence, right? All these veterans that have died, whether you believe in that or not, I know people have very mixed opinions regarding the military. Whether you believe that the veterans did this for protecting our rights or whatever, they still passed away, right? So just don't allow people to stomp all over your rights, right? Hey, Lisa. Hey, Suds. Hey, Don. I'm sorry if I missed any of you guys. I'm sorry. I do have to get going. I'm sorry if I. Hey, Emma. Hey, Suds. Hey, Nick. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Open Your Peepers. Hey, Rise. Did I miss anyone? I'm sorry if I did. There's a lot of you guys popping off in the chat. If you are in here, please give this video a like. I see you are in here. I see you're watching. 90 of you. 91 likes. Woo, woo. Thank you guys for all the amazing super chats. Happy Veterans Day for all of you guys. If you guys know a veteran out there, say hello. Treat them to a meal if you can, or just have a conversation with them. Sometimes a conversation, look, a lot of our veterans have PTSD. A lot of our veterans have been pushed away by the VA. A lot of our veterans are homeless. A lot of our veterans are struggling with mental and physical health. Sometimes just literally buying somebody a coffee or just saying, hey, how are you, goes a long way. Not just for veterans, just human. Just be a good human, right? So thank you guys for joining me in today's live. Let me know what you thought of this video, and you guys have a wonderful day. See you soon, guys. Take care.